Say you love me. So. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let's see, what was I gonna do here? Oh, it still have my snakes on the screen. Meow. Bye, snake. Do 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 do.
Connected.
Yay. Yay, I'm here.
Channel switched.
Yay.
Yay!
Oh,
You know you
gonna
can
have
actually...
to. Team speak. Thank you, Catherine Rose. Guys, I was invited to a team. Oh, okay. Change nickname. Yes, I'm push to talk. I am streaming, but I'm not streaming the audio. You guys are welcome to watch to make sure. So if there's a question asked, I'll repeat the question, as any good streamer would, and then answer the question. That's good. That'll give me time to place turkeys. Howdy. For those watching the stream, I'm joining a guild meeting and I'm going to be answering questions that they have. I was invited to join. It's in the town where I keep my house. I have no idea where it is. But, well, of course you hear me. Earlier when I was saying they won't hear me, that was the people here. And now I'm doing like one of those concentration tests, which you know I'm going to fail because I have people talking in my ear and I'm trying to talk to you guys. They only hear me if I press a key. You guys always have to hear me. Sorry. Just for an update, I wasn't going to stream today or do any work today, but I ended up doing a little bit. Let's see. But Maxine had a fall yesterday, so I'll give the update on things. Maxine is doing better. Maxine, for those who didn't hear, Maxine, we went to a 3-year-old turning 4-year-old birthday party, which Maxine is way too old for, but they had it in a play space that was kind of aimed at younger kids. And Maxine was going a little crazy with one of the big swinging things. Is like a big padded tube on a rope that you can swing on. But she was swinging on that and apparently got a little too crazy. Flew off and landed from pretty high space and like landed directly on her face and did the head plant into the ground with her legs then coming over her head.
There's a guy in Minecraft that keeps saying, huh.
So, but anyway, she's better now. She has a bruised nose. Maxine, do you want to show off your bruised nose? I was expecting way worse, but kids are tough. But this is on the stream if you want to see. Maxine, you want to show your bruised nose?
Dad.
Does your nose hurt?
Ow. Dad, don't touch it. I'm going to
Yeah, it was like blood everywhere, like pools of blood there. The people at the little play space were absolutely freaking out. But it ended up, by the time we got ice on it, got it to stop bleeding and got her home. Like I was actually, as soon as it happened, the person throwing the party is a nurse friend of ours. So she immediately jumped on her and was taking care of her, and we didn't even know, like, it looked like she lost teeth or something like that. We couldn't tell. It was just a lot of blood out there that we were worried about. But anyways, I immediately ran over, put my shoes on, and was calling the ER to see make sure they took our insurance while they got things settled down. But we ended up not having to go to the ER. Yay. Yeah, I'm going to be adding turkeys there. Turkey, deco. And deco NPC. They're trying to talk to me and I'm ignoring them. Teleport to... Let's see. And for those who are watching on my stream, again, I have people in my ear as well, so I'm sitting here quiet. It's because I'm listening to them. But they're going to be doing the right questions. I will read the questions, pull them out of a box and read them and answer them, but I'll make sure and read them out loud. So I'll be answering questions, but today not so much from you guys. I will do some giveaways, though, since I have you guys all here. They were just asking about updates from Lord British. I haven't seen anything. I talked to him again after the live stream on Friday. So he is still alive, last I heard. Yeah, he has not been killed by a volcano. And in the patch that is building right now, assuming it goes live, there's a bunch of deco pet fixes. And there were some pets that were set so they wouldn't wander hardly at all. I think turkeys were one of those, so they'll only wander like 10 feet or so. But I basically tripled a lot of them, so like cats will wander further and deer will wander. And they will also never despawn even if you move away from them. And instead they just lower their tick rate, so they sit there and they'll be, they're doing their little idle animations, doing this type of stuff that the people on the stream can see at least, but they won't actually think about moving or respawn. So if you go up and attack one, like they'll be super slow to respawn, like 2 seconds, but that's because they have a really slow think heartbeat. And that's to make sure that they stay cheap, because I'm keeping them around forever. They'll not be rendered if you're on the far side of the map, but they will not do pathfinding or slow anything down. Alright, now just for the people on the stream out there, I'm gonna get a giveaway going here. And we're gonna have some more specials going on. Here, actually, I guess I should tell the people on stream that. Just so you guys know, we're going to be having some more specials. I'm still dreaming up what they are. I will finally get the Lord of the Isles stuff live. That's not really a Black Friday special, but I think we've got two things we're going to be trying. One is going to be that we're going to do the on sale window here. We'll probably have it change every 2 hours instead of every 24 hours. And we will probably have it be like 25% off or 30% off. Another one that will be coming up will be, I don't know if I want to announce this one. May change people's plans. But I'm going to see about getting it if we can do a discount. We can do a sale on, whatchamacallits, on deed upgrades, on lot upgrades. So you can, like, if you're looking to upgrade from a, row to a village or whatever, we're going to put those on sale, which we rarely do, especially combined with Crown Sale. That'll actually make it hopefully pretty appealing to you guys to want to move up. So let's see. All right, first thing, I think I'll go pretty small in this first one. Just do an elven village home. Let me get that going. Not sure what's on there. Hold on, I'm looking into a stream thing. My stream chatbot thing is not hooked up again. I gotta go figure out what's up with that. Let's see, this happens every once in a while, so let me get this back online or else I can't give you guys prizes and I can't take your quotes. You have to give me a minute here. I'm trying to get this going. I know, I'm being quiet out there. I think our token expires like every 60 days or something, so I'm having to get a new token. Let's see. All right, I think I almost got it here. Bam. Connect. 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 All right, I'm starting to think this is actually a Twitch problem again, which this has happened before. Boo. It will. Yeah, it seems like it's not going to connect. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm fighting with this Twitch thing. It looks like Twitch is actually having some technical problems right now, so I'm not going to be able to do giveaways on my prize or on my stream, which means no one's going to watch me. Why else would they watch me? Yeah, that's weird. Huh. Yeah, so apparently it just started working. Wah, wah. So this is the bug that is fixed in the patch that is building right now. Do 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 do. Poof. Oh yeah. I can do that. All right, for those who are on my stream, I'm doing a guild meeting here today, which again, this is not something I'm just doing for these guys. I do most of the guild meetings I get invited to. I'll show up. They had some questions I wanted to ask about things, including Lua was one of them, but also Inkley and some other stuff, so they're writing up a few things for me. I had a few moments here today because we were going to go hiking, but Maxine, as I mentioned, wiped out. So we're trying to make sure she takes it easy today on the slim chance she has a concussion. Hey, thank you for... Oh, let's see. I got a lot of stuff going on here. I got a raid that I can't quite read. Red Hammers raid. Catherine Rose, of course. Thank you, Catherine Rose, as always. Vahi Run. Crazy Phil, thanks for the resub. Soul Stormland, thank you for the raid, and also for all the streaming. This is nice. I like how they have the heraldry throne. Everybody provides their own chair. Neat. It's going to start at 2 o'clock, so if you guys have some questions here, I'll actually go through. I'll go through here. Let's see. And Minerva, I put down a bunch of turkeys, but the bug that the patch I'm building right now on a weekend to try and fix is fixed in that patch. It's not fixed yet, so. You do 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 do. Do do do. Let's see. When will the Compendium of Pain and Suffering get changed to a pot deco? Well, that's what came with the... Oh, a pot deco as in opposed to... That will get changed right now. Let's see. What is that? I'm going to have to go back and find my change list where I check that in because I totally forget what it's called. They can't hear you in the stream, actually. Yeah, my first, for those who are on the stream, they're asking about the pathfinding in Tartarus. Yeah, I took a super quick pass at trying to fix that before I spent a bunch of time debugging it. This is the elves and stuff, everything up there, paths weird. But my super quick path was just to nudge one item and then get it to rebuild the nav mesh to see if that fixed it. We'll see if it's fixed in the build that is building right now. That'll be done in about 2 to 3 hours and live in about 4 hours. Let's see. I'm trying to find something for them. Oh no, I'm trying to find something for you guys to fix the teleporter. Do. Aha, found it. Okay, hold on. Dungeon entrance blade avatar. All right, let's see. Alright guys, that has been updated. Dungeon entrance blade of the avatar can now be placed on a pot. Alright. I can let them hear that. Do you guys want them to hear your questions or hear you guys talking? I can turn that on. All right, guys, I'm going to turn you guys on. We'll turn it off if it becomes a problem. For those on the watching the live stream here, rather than the chat, I'm just about to turn them on. So you'll hear a bunch of people babbling and acting like children.
Please, you guys don't act like children. Okay?
We are on our best behavior to not
Thank you
embarrass
for the
Minerva.
intro.
And I just heard somebody's echoing, so somebody's watching the stream. Good job.
User joined your channel.
Yeah, best way to do it is to mute him on stream and then just have him in the
That's
voice
what I
chat.
do.
What?
Yeah, you get echo or feedback if you've got both open, so just kind of turn one off.
You can watch the stream if you choose to. And there will be a slight delay. Don't worry about that, but do not try to listen to both at once. Your brain will explode. It's really hard to clean the brains up.
All right, I just changed the dungeon entrance blade of the avatar to be a pot deco item, so you can use it on a pot deco. I don't know why it wasn't. I mean, there's a lot of things I just don't know why we don't just let you use them anywhere.
Yay.
And yes, the Blade of the Avatar thing is the Compendium of Pain and Suffering teleporter that's like a book teleporter that takes you there. A lot of people got them as decos.
So, Rev, how exactly are you sitting in the middle of his desk on my screen?
I don't know. Shade is sitting right beside Rev on my screen. I don't know what control him.
Eve Midnight, I am aware of Fire being OP. It is the one right now that
You are some hobo.
I continue to nudge the overall attunement stuff down. Fire is OP. It's a little less OP than versus or in PvP than it is in PvE. In PvE, creatures just don't know to douse, and that's one of those things that we need to get an AI update for them, so they actually, some of the casters know how to douse. But yes, I'm aware that it is a bit OP. There's some people who thought it was more OP, that it somehow got doubled in strength. One of the things that happened that I can tell you about that I forgot to put a patch note in because it happened like the day of the build was I went through after seeing what was causing some of the performance problems, which is basically application of effects. I went through a lot of the fire effect stuff and I cut the I doubled the damage that the dot did, but I doubled the duration of the ticks as well. So it was like doing like 50 points every 2 seconds, so I doubled it to be 100 points every 4 seconds. So it looks like it's hitting bigger, but it's actually the DPS is the same or roughly the same. So
you can go for it, sir.
let's see. Lord of Honesty says maybe due to how dots stack. When it's time to reach fire refresh, the dots now it stacks. Oh, it should not be stacking. I don't think that's true.
We're still muted
I can't
right
test
now.
in here. No, you guys should be on the audio whenever you talk. Can you guys can hear yourself because I heard you talking to yourself.
I could hear Minerva talking.
We can hear
That
each
never
other,
stops,
but
does
we're
it?
not hearing you, Chris. You may want to turn yours off, push to talk off.
Oh yeah, I could turn off my push to talk. Hold on a second, I'll do that. That's just for the people in the stream, by the way.
Listen to both streams.
There we go. Oh wait, now I should be.
From each other, though.
Now I should be on all the time.
Sounds good.
Can you guys hear me? Not
Yes,
on
sir.
the stream. All right, so there we go. Now I'm set up. All right. Again, if you're joining my stream, this is not my usual stream where I do nonstop Q&A and prizes and all that stuff. I will be doing prizes. In fact, let me go ahead and do a prize right now, since we're just about to start here. The first one's just for a simple Elven Village home. Here we go. Get ready, get ready, get ready. And oh, you guys have had plenty of time. You guys are already in there. Okay, here we go. I'm picking a winner. Bam. Nope, got a few people in there. Roryu Spirituality Dragon. Congratulations there. Yeah.
Did you give him priority, speaker?
Oh, welcome. Well done, Mo.
Yes, I did. We're all on the stream, so just remember that.
Let's see. So that is whoever you are, Roryu. I'm gonna guess you're Roy.
He's here. He's in the room, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Read.
Walk up to him, Ryu. So
Oh yeah, if you're in the room.
User joined your channel.
Turns out the person who won is in the room there.
Walk up and kneel.
Trade. What I was gonna give you an Elven something.
It was a village home, I think.
Yeah, Elven Village. What's that thing called? Is it that one? Elven Village Home. I think the picture just looks different. Elven Village Home. Yeah, screw it. Good enough.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Okay, next up here. I'll get one prize going here, and then I'll do the meeting stuff. Minerva, I know you said there were a bunch of people who weren't here yet. Do you want to start without those guys, or?
Yeah, we start on time, and so they all showed up at the right time. So it's all yours.
All right. Well, let me pick the next prize then, and then I will dive into that. Oh, you know what? For the next one, I will give away. How about 10 turkey spawners? That'll be the next prizing. Let me reset that. 10 turkey spawners. All right, there we go. Giveaways open there. All right, and I guess now I'm gonna get busy on answering questions. And you said, Minerva, you said the questions are to my left?
Yeah, they're going to be on your left, but before you do, if
Okay.
you were going to take, a few minutes to talk to somebody who had no idea what Lua is, what it's about, give your short synopsis, because some of them really are completely taking this from the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, and they asked me on the stream because some people can't make the Friday streams. They can only make weekend streams. So Lua is, I don't believe Lua stands for anything, although I may be wrong on that. I've always just thought of it as Lua, L-U-A. I'm sure somebody knows the history of it, but I do not. But anyways, it is a very small scripting language that is, the implementation of it is small enough that it is a popular scripting language to embed. The first time I embedded it, used Lua in a scripting language. I embedded it in a PlayStation 2 game that I was developing, and I used that because at that time, because PlayStation 2s had pretty limited memory, and you're always looking for ways to squeeze more out of it. So for the Lua stuff, it made a very simple, for the techie guys out there, it was kind of like having a DLL. I'd load levels, and then I'd load the Lua scripts that came with a level. So that's the first time I ever used it, but it's a very easy to embed scripting language. So here we go again. This is now like 15 years later. It's still around. So many other games have used it as their embedded language, including some little games like World of Warcraft and Lord of the Rings Online and a few others. It is a very easy to learn language, in addition to be very easy to implement. And it's just very simple. It's really easy to hook functions, and it's a simple way to give you guys control over things in the game that are you wish you could do, we didn't do for you, but you could do it if you had the right tools. So this is hopefully giving you the universal tool that you can use to do things. It's, again, I've shown, you can go just Google Lua scripting probably, or Lua programming language probably will make sure you get the right thing. But again, there's a lot of tutorials out there. There's a lot of videos out there. There's a lot of other games that use it as well. We are using, in case you're looking at books or looking at guides, we're using 5.2. 5.3 does add a few new things, but it's also the latest version, and it is usually most games are using either 5.1 or 5.2. We're using 5.2. Most have not moved to 5.3. It doesn't add that much in terms of functionality and use stuff, and the code base for 5.2 is very solid, so just easier to stick with 5.2, which is what we're doing. So We're using, in case people want to dig into like how we did this behind the scenes, I used what's that thing called? Moon Lua, Moon Orbit, Moon whatever. Dang, I can't remember. Moonsharp, which is a Lua implementation in C#. Which is what I wanted, because one of the big things we need to be able to do is we need to be able to modify the scripting language, and that's one of the big appealing things. There are some other libraries out there that would have let us have 5.3 that might have had better performance, but they were all native compilations and not as easy to compile and not easy at all for me to test. So anyways, we're using Moonsharp Lua 5.2 scripting language.
Chris,
Mm-hmm.
could I ask you to take the questions out and close the trunk so they can add more?
Oh, yes. Okay, hold on. I got like 100. Yeah, hopefully they'll put Lua in front of things. If only I had a way to sort by the last time I touched a note.
Wouldn't
This-
that be nice?
Yeah, this is one of those things I'm arguing internally with people about, that I think it's
Sack
needed
on
and
top of
some
the
other
chest,
do
so
not.
you can put your questions in the sack, and we can still put them in the chest.
Yeah, I don't think I have a sack, but
I put
I'll
one
be
on
good.
top of the chest for you.
oh,
Let's
well.
just pick that up and yeah.
I'll just put them in. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Oh, what? Come here, bud. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to take it.
Yeah, why can't you? Oh, it's the permissions. Let me fix it.
Yes, you're having to help the dev out.
All right, you got this. Somehow it's got picked up though. I'm not seeing it now.
I'm trading it to him.
All right.
Very good. Thank you, Griffler.
You're very welcome.
All right, just getting started here. All right, so we're going all bag mode today. But anyway, so the scripting language, again, the idea is that it's the scripting language Lua gives me a way that I can let you guys do some programming, do some logic stuff that can be pretty complex. It can also talk to, like, if you want to have it talk to your own web server or write out some files locally to create your own logs or do your own stuff locally, you can have it do that. And then I let it interface with the game in a fairly clean way just by hooking some of the functions. So I've already got stuff in there now for checking your own stats, which is one of the reasons we want to have that in there, so we can let you guys see what is going on behind the scenes. I also have just the build that's going out now will have, and it's on QA now, you will be able to query information about your party members. So you can see, get information about who your party members are and what their, more importantly, what their health and focus is. So you can build stuff like if you're a healer, you can build stuff that'll flash things on screen, heal Bob, heal Bob. So in this first implementation, and to some extent in many of the coming implementations, if you're wondering if you can take Lua and then go script up a bot that will do all your farming for you, that's a hard no. In that we're trying to keep things, all the stuff that I'm doing right now is 100% client side. So it's giving you a way to interact with data that has already been sent to your client. If it has not been sent to your client, then you're not going to be able to do scripting stuff to interact with it. And the reason for that is as soon as I give you guys a way that you can ask the server for information or send server or information to the server, then I've now given you a way that you could hammer the server through scripts, and whether intentional or accidental, you guys could do some damage in terms of lag. So trying to avoid that for now. That is something that's coming, that will be coming in what I'm calling phase 2, which will start next year. That'll be in Q1 of next year. But until then, it is just local stuff, but that gives you a lot of flexibility. I've got about 20 functions hooked up now, so you can get your stats and you can pick up any chat messages that come through, and you can send that through your own logic, so you can do stuff. And if you're wondering, like, why would you ever do that? Well, one, it gives you a way that you can, basically you can write stuff out to your own Lua window, because it gives you another tab in your chat that can just be Lua. So you can have stuff filtered to that. But it also gives you things where you can catch input as well. So you can do things like you could do a /chat search, write your own chat search stuff that'll go through and search your own chat logs, or can write out stuff, or can, for guilds, it'll stay there session after session after session. You can do, the next one I'm working on is going to be inventory. So you can actually do queries on your inventory, and you can track your inventory, and you can do stuff like, see how much actual gain or loss you had in like an adventure. Just tons of really powerful stuff like that. But let me get to the questions here. Oh, what happened to my sack?
It's whatever it's named. It could,
I
should
know.
be at the top.
I got it.
Also, once we get through, we want to talk about how to do it in game, as in, where the folder is, the actual mechanics.
Yes, and I knew that was going to be something that would come up.
Is that why Revlux is here?
No. But that is why I added a function. If you do a /lua /path, it'll show you what the folder is. So you can see where that folder is. For Windows people, which I know is 90% of the people out there, if you do %appdata, %portalarium, shroud of the avatar, you'll find it there.
Well, doesn't it in game, you just do /data folder, and it'll open up the data folder with everything, like your sheet music, your books. And...
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, I remember that was way back.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep.
That's the easiest way to find that stuff.
Yeah, I occasionally get the people who are like yelling at me like, you don't know nothing about your own game. It's like, it's a huge game. There are so many things in our game.
/SodaWiki. Whee!
Oh yeah, I remember that one getting added.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to start answering some questions here. Let's see. The first one is coming from Griffler. Could we please either get crit chances exposed, or would you be willing to provide us with a math so we can calculate it ourselves? Thanks, and keep up the amazing work. So this is one I could expose to you guys, but I will probably expose it when I get to doing another thing that I'm going to hopefully do. I don't think it'll make the end of this year, because I'm going to try to work on the GM stuff. And also there's a bunch of nav mesh problems that are our nav system, AI systems basically on fire right now. Breaking in a few places, including Tartarus. But I'm going to be doing a verbose combat mode, where you will be able to, and that may end up being another tab that shows up here, where you've got, wrong tabs. Where you've got NPC, local, zone, party, whatever, Lua, and then there may be this last one, may be verbose combat, or verbose math. And what that's going to do is that's going to show you, I'm just in a habit of closing my windows at all times.
Hey, hang on one second. You guys in TeamSpeak, stop messaging down there.
Bing.
Stop, or I'm going to start kicking.
But anyways, the verbose combat stuff is I'm basically going to go through all of the combat math functions, and wherever it shows wherever it's changing something, it's doing something, I'm basically going to put in a log statement that it's going to build up a string of base attack equals this, dex bonus equals this, defender's dex penalty equals this. Basically just every time I'm making a change, I'm going to be instrumenting that with a log that you'll be able to turn that on if you want to. That's going to be something that will really slow things down for you guys. Again, anytime we're doing strings, there's almost always Alex, even if I'm using string builders and all the other things. But it can be problematic in terms of just, it's a lot of copying and moving data around. And then sending that to you guys too is going to be expensive too. Just the building up the the output down there. But yeah, so the original question of can we get crit chances exposed? You will, but again, I'll probably expose it when I do the verbose math, not now. But I can probably also go copy the formulas to you as well, if you want to get busy working on it now. I'm a little reluctant to do that because anytime I give you guys the formula, especially now if you're talking about like I want the formula so I can put it in Lua, well that means that if I go and change it now, you're going to be all like, what happened? So, and I like to be able to change things when I want to. Let's see, that one was from Griffler. Next is one from Shimizu. Let's see, Inkly question. Inkly and where can we can use it? As I understand it, Inkly allows you to create modified dialogue scripts for NPCs, ultimately for quest creation. My question is, which NPCs will be able to modify this? Or will we be able to modify with this? Pot NPC merchants, town criers, the cat-spawnered cats, player vendors, or special Inkly-only quest NPCs. Can you explain how this will work and where we can use it? So that's one that initially it's going to be quest NPCs. We'll have a type of quest NPC that you can put down. I think what had been talked about is we'll give you kind of a base NPC quest guide that you can do that'll have some limit to, number of lines or statements or whatever, and then we'll probably sell one that'll have like an unlimited number. We'll make sure the initial one, you can do like 20 or 50 or some large number of lines. It's just going to be if you want to do like a guy who's going to tell you, the whole story of his life or whatever, you may have to, that may be the one that we charge for. But as to put it on other guys, that's one of the goals also, is to make it so you can replace your town, your NPC dialogue. We don't have that set up yet, but that is going to be one of those where, we are working on it. It is kind of in the round 2 of stuff that we're going to be exposing to you guys. But yes, as for cat spawners, I would love to get these things on cats and everywhere else. But yeah, I would love to let you guys replace all the stuff in your town. So, if you want to have your NPCs and make your town, all about sex dungeon stuff or whatever, I don't know who would want to do that, but if they did, they could go and rewrite all of the NPC dialogue in their town to relate to that. So, yes. And as to how it would work, again, I encourage you to go look at Inkly on the web. There's a website. It's actually an open source tool that some guys made that they were kind enough to share. We were in the middle of writing our own system when Bobby, Dr. Bob, aka Undone to you guys, he works on his own little game on the side. It's not a little game, but I mean, he works on his own game on the side, and so we get a lot of shared knowledge between the stuff he does for us and the stuff he does for his game. But that's actually one of the ones that he used is using his game. He said it, was basically drop in, super easy, and we all looked at it and it's like, yep, we're just going to switch over to that. Already has, because the big problem we were trying to deal with was coming up with an external tool to give you guys that you could write stuff, because that can be a lot of work, and then it's yet another thing we have to maintain and figure out how we distribute to you guys. So, but yeah, there's already a tool out there. You can go and grab it and use it. All right, next question. Lua abbreviation. So this is, let's see, who is this? This is Vero. Lua is least privileged user account. I don't think that's it. Live updated administration, logical unit address. Nope. Lansamwelt. I don't even know what that is. Limited user account. Love you always. Legs matter something Norwegian. Logical unit. No, none of these are right. Licking under armpits. I think that's it. Those are all from Vero. His ideas for Lua. I'm sure he looked up some dictionary thing. Lua, can it fix my recipe book? Can this magical Lua thing in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing? Oh, this one is coming from Shimizu again. Be used to add sorting, filtering to things like recipe books. Maybe show all teachables or put things in different colors. So recipes is one of the things that's on the list of items to hit that we're going to expose the data to you guys, so you can pull like all your recipe information, so you can organize it however you wanted to. So yeah, so if somebody wanted to, they could make a window that was, their cooler, better recipe UI. And that's kind of, again, I've mentioned before, this is part of why we're doing this, is we have a lot of UI. Like if you go down the list of our problems, yeah, I know our quest system is super buggy in places and really hard to get the bugs out and reproduce the bugs sometimes. But probably the one that is the biggest complaint for new users coming into the game is they look at our UI and say, what is this trash? What year is it? You know, whatever mean trolley thing they want to say. But sometimes, I mean, the mean trolley things are also a little bit true. So that is looking at the total time it would take to rewrite all that stuff ourselves, redo the things and get things to a point where you guys approve of it, would actually be a huge, I mean, a massive multi-person for a year type task. So instead, by opening up Lua and opening up the UI to you guys, we give you guys an option. If you don't like the UI that had been created, that you guys can create your own options and get in the stuff there that you want and unblock things. This is also, it's something that's important to me because I've mentioned on streams before, I hate touching our UI because it was, the person who wrote it did an amazing job with what he was given, and he's a great programmer. He's still with us, Wizard Smoke. But it was kind of built to a standard, you know, one, that it's ugly, and then two, that most everything had to be done quickly, and then a lot of stuff is just like, it changed. You know, whatever the features we had changed over the years, and so 6 years later, we have a UI that is both out of date and it's also difficult to maintain and use because it is using, it's actually not even in Lua or in Unity GUI, it's actually in GUI, an old version that hasn't been updated in about 2 years. So I would love to be able to expose to you guys the ability to recreate some of these. And then also the other thing is, if you guys start coming up with some UI stuff, you know, that we need, we can, it'll be easy for us to take what you've done and integrate it if you let us. And then we can just basically make it a part of the client, because we can actually build Lua scripts or equivalent functionality into the game if we want to. But yeah, so it will be able to, it will let you do those things. Or give you command line interfaces, but you should be able to build basically a dialogue. Before we're all done, you should be able to build something that looks like your recipe book or an inventory box or something like that. There may be some features that we don't put in there, like tabbing or something like that. You know, but it may be buttons that you can do the same thing. Like what you're seeing right there is you could do the same thing just by having these apply a filter on your side rather than being tabs. But yeah. Yes, the answer is yes. A really long yes. Let's see. I'm going to get through these and then I'll check the box again and see if any more showed up. Let's see. This one is coming from Griffler. Oh, and I'm missing out on some people there. Thank you for the follows. Wilson TV, Stormland, Echo or Echorax TV. Thank you for the follow. Finegg, thank you for the follow. Liberty Lover, thank you for the resub. Lord Merlin, thank you for the follow. Slipstick Lemur, thank you for the resub. Shade Bedlam, thank you for the sub. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did I ever reopen my thing? Yes, I did. Okay. Just making sure the giveaway was open. I'll do the giveaway at about 2:45. And I need to get off about 3, so just so you know. Griffler, Lua questing questions. Thanks for your amazing dedicated work ethic. A couple of simple questions, and you are most welcome. Thank you for being dedicated fans. How aggressively will Lua be iterated for big features like UI, audio, and graphic support? With the dawn of Inkle and its Lua integrations come amazing questing potentials. Yes, absolutely. I desire to turn my pot into a question hub, but planned on mixing dungeons in heavily. Where does the next work on dungeons fall into the schedule? And the topic of questing, what's the plan for tiering chest into the mix, or maybe even the ability for our Inkle NPCs to prompt and accept items like the current implemented NPCs? So there's a lot of stuff to digest there, and a lot of stuff I've probably mentioned on various streams, but I'll go ahead and reiterate them here just because a lot of them are things that you guys will probably find super interesting. So part of the reason we're using Inkle is we're opening it up to you guys, but we are also going to be using it on our side for our questing stuff. So you guys were exposing the Inkle stuff to you guys, but we're also building it into our process and using it for our things. So part of the reason for that is if people come up with a really cool quest, you guys know we walk around and do tours of like Player Quest, show off those things on live streams and stuff like that. We think they're amazing. That's part of what was the thing that made me want to go and give you guys real tools so you can do other cool stuff. It's awesome how you guys can work around and make stuff awesome even without good tools, but I just really want to give you good tools. But anyways, if you guys make good quests, the data that you guys will be using will be almost identical to what we're using, and we can actually turn those into quests. So I'm mentioning this partially because you mentioned like the chest and you wanting to make stuff. Well, that's the type of thing where if you make a cool quest, like we can ask you, like, because we're going to have metrics on like how many people are going to things and that type of stuff, and we'll probably take a look at some of the best ones, and we can turn those into real in-game quests where we can actually put rewards of our own, like server generated rewards rather than rewards that you might hand out. But there's, like I said, there's a lot of questions in here, a lot of pieces of this, but how aggressively will Lua be iterated for big features like UI, audio, and graphics support? You've seen kind of how I'm working. I'm adding a couple of functions a day. I'm trying to get the process down. I'm doing a little bit of thrashing right now as I try to find better ways to expose stuff to you guys, and also find better ways to test things. Like I've had the party stuff has been broken for several days because I haven't had a good way to test it on the dev server easily. I now have a way I can actually test it pretty easily. So. But I'm going to be iterating practically daily. You can expect another dozen functions a week. I'm trying to expose a few systems each week, and again over the break through the end of the year, through January, end of January-ish time frame, because these two releases are crazy short. I'm just going to be every few days I'll push a build to QA, and if it doesn't catch fire and burn there, then I'll go ahead and push that to live over the break. So I'm going to be iterating a lot. Now, one of the things for those who actually know programming stuff, I'm sure it's a mix of people out there, but obviously this is something brand new to me and me making stuff for you guys. In the past, I've exposed Lua, but I exposed it for internal use, not external use. I think it's important as we continue moving forward that I keep the API call clean. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is moving over time. I will, as always, you learn to hate, you see better ways to do things as you get down the road. So I'll probably be changing even some function names or how some functions are called. That's just in terms of the iterating on stuff. So do expect that there will be times when I will deprecate some functions, but I'll make sure and give you at least a release or two before I deprecate it. And so basically I'll leave the old one in, and then I'll put the new version in of how I want you to call it. And the old one I'll start putting in stuff like warning you about deprecation when you start up. So you guys can actually have like a couple months to update your scripts. So I'll be iterating on that stuff. For UI, audio, graphics support, audio will come pretty quick. I actually had that working the other day. I didn't check it in because I was still trying to work out some loading stuff and try to make it so it didn't cause hitches if you loaded big audio files and that type of stuff. And the other thing I was trying to look at is, are there already Lua audio things out there you could use that you could just use the Lua stuff? The audio that we have, I may actually expose it to you guys, but I may make it so that only plays stuff like you can use sounds already in the game. You can get a list of here's all the sounds in the game, and you can play those if you want to. So we'll see what I do with audio. Graphics support, there's going to be stuff coming. The UI support, there's multiple levels of UI, because there's some UI stuff that is really, it's just a matter of display. Hold on, I've got an important emergency. There's something wrong with your Minecraft?
Yeah, I pressed E to get out of that thing and didn't get out of that thing, and it said E on the screen.
It said E on the screen?
Yeah, and then a little break in.
Huh. Try hitting the escape button. That's the one in the upper left-hand corner.
I don't know where that is.
Okay, well, you're going to have to take a break for a while because I've got another 25 minutes here that I need to answer some questions. Maxine, yes, my 5-year-old has started. We found out we're trying to do the gifted stuff with her at school, and everybody said it's like impossible to get a kindergartner into the gifted program because, like I guess last year, like out of the entire 8 classes or whatever, only like 1 or 2 kids made it. But it sounded like the challenging part was the kids just don't grok computers at that point. They don't use mouse. So we were trying to keep Maxine off the computer, but now we're actually trying to let her get used to using a computer. So this is just today she started playing Minecraft. Set her up in there and let her play some Minecraft. So, anyways, the UI, there's a lot of different stuff in UI. The stuff that'll be coming before the end of the year for the UI will be display elements and maybe some simple input stuff. But the UI as it stands right now will not play nice with existing UI. Meaning that UI that you guys make will always sort over the other UI. Now, that for you guys in the long run, that may be the right thing, is just have it sort over, but it's basically on a totally different UI system. But in the short run, like by the end of the year, you'll be able to draw buttons. I'm going to try to get you exposed being able to load images and draw images in different ways, and you'll be able to draw backgrounds on stuff. Devil Colt is actually kind of funny. He's been breaking things, but he actually has been trying to work around not having boxes. And the way he did it was there's a little box character that he took and stretched up to be massive, but it was actually crashing the entire Unity client. Not my code, it was crashing Unity. So, but let's see what other stuff in there. Graphics support, again, we'll see on that. There's so many things I'm trying to expose to you guys, and it's just going to be coming on a little bit. There's some things that if I just expose just a couple numbers to you guys, you already have the tools you can do things with. One of the ones I'd mentioned that I thought was going to be an early one, which I'm going to try to get to you guys Monday or Tuesday this next week, is, again, one of the reasons we're doing this is because you guys think there's far too little information on your character sheet, and you're right. Again, this is kind of from the age of we're not going to show you guys anything. And we want to change that. So one of the things I have now is you can get at your stats. You can get a lot more information out of the game, but you don't have a way like to tie it to this. But with the hooks coming up, I'm going to be giving you just basically with 2 functions. I can make it so you can expand on this UI. And the 2 functions that I still need to do that are both pretty trivial is one is give me the XY coordinates of this interface. And 2, tell me if the interface is up or not. If I give you just those 2 things, then players can now do things where they can watch, and when this interface comes up, they can turn on UI and draw the UI based on where this moves. So they can basically imagine drawing borders around the sides of it or however they want to around it, so they can fill in their own information and make some good stuff with that. But again, it's moving along as quick as you've seen it moving along. I'm going to try to keep moving along with that. I'm trying to, as I've had players complain that something that's absolutely true is I jump around a lot on things and get things to kind of a 90% done and move on state. And I'm trying to stick with this because I think this is possibly the most powerful, most important thing I can do for you guys to fix a lot of things. But let's see, did I get everything in there? UI audio. So dungeons are going to continue to get work. That's actually one of the things that I started and I got to a pretty good state, but I just need to continue adding content. That's actually one of the places where I'm going to try to hire somebody to create some content for us, because that is very much you want to get your feet wet in the games industry. Well, wax on, wax off, making dungeon stuff. It's pretty repetitive once they actually get used to it, but it is a lot of time, very time consuming and tedious. So I'm hoping to expand dungeon stuff both in the number of rooms available to you guys and the ways we use them. And also, as I've mentioned, I may have mentioned this on a stream. I may have just been chatting with people in chat about it, but that's one of the things we're going to be adding. Hopefully in Q1 of next year, we have the concept of dungeons, which I know a lot of you guys love how those work. Well, if you think about what that is, there's actually the dungeon foyer. You put down a teleporter in wherever you want to, however you want to. We can represent it any different way we want to. What that teleporter does is it takes you to a scene, a private scene. So this was actually built off the basement technology, where you guys can have your private basements and do what you want to in your basements. Not judging. But when you have that private scene that you can put stuff in, well, there's no reason that scene has to be a closed room underground. That scene can be we can have a teleporter that takes you to an outdoor scene, and make that part of the questing system, because that's going to be, not just questing system, but the player created content system. But one of the things that'll come with that is basically we can give you here's a half kilometer by half kilometer space. Thank you, Elrond, King of Elves. But we can give you like a half kilometer by half kilometer outdoor space. Reuse some of our old ones, because you guys know we have like 300 maps or something ridiculous like that, and nobody goes to a bunch of them. And thank you, Snugs. And thank you, Bedlam, for the sub. But we have all those spaces. We can make use of those and turn those, basically just go through and clear out all the spawns, leave them alone. And then what I'm getting to this that relates to dungeon and expansions on dungeons is we already have the tech to create encounters that are placeable encounters. Now, right now we give you the dungeon rooms, and we have it so the encounter is built into the dungeon room. But we can also do an encounter where, imagine placing like a big 10 meter by 10 meter deco, or 5 meter by 5 meter deco. So when you place that deco that's an encounter that basically includes the entire encounter space or whatever, that now comes when you place it, you may see the outline of a rock outcropping, or you may see the outline of 2 or 3 huts with a campfire in the middle when you're placing it. When you place that encounter deco either in your dungeon if you can make it fit, or outdoors if you want to, that can now be a new spawn type where you can have here's my kobold camp, where you place it and you get like 3 houses with kobolds in it, and a campfire that you can now use this to expand your dungeons if you want to, but also you can use it to fill out these outdoor spaces. So that's another thing that will come in that will allow you to expand on dungeons. If you don't like the encounter that's in an encounter room, you can go and change those out. I was talking to somebody about this just recently, because they were like, I really want to see scorpion essences start dropping, and I was mentioning this idea to them because that's one of those things that I'd planned that would probably replace some of the other things we have in there right now. How we let you guys craft those and farm those, it'll probably be something similar, where to craft, a kobold encounter will be, find a blueprint for it, and then farm kobold essences to build up that room, so that you can build up, make it even, higher level, tougher, whatever you want to. But anyways, that'll let you decorate your spaces, decorate your outdoor stuff, do your outdoor things, and that's how you'll put down creatures and things in those. And it'll also be the standard stuff where you can build huts, or you can build your build fort walls or whatever you want to in your outdoor scene, and place NPCs, of course. But I'm hoping to get that on as soon as Q1 of next year, probably towards the end of Q1. Let's see, I talked a lot on that one. Let me get my sack open again. All right. Questions from Tika that, not surprisingly, are from Crazy Tika. Make sure and go check out her picture. She's one of the people that has pictures in the store. Hey, Scooby-Doo, thank you very much, kind sir. Also, Scooby has been kind enough to let me check out his town, which has some, let's just say, some performance challenges to it. But it's actually been really good in exposing a lot of stuff that had snuck in while I wasn't watching, when I wasn't being performance cop on pot stuff. But a few of the most critical ones will be going in shortly. We'll be going in this next build that are optimizations to devotionals and some of the dragon statues and some of the lich statues and some of these other things that have the VFX on them, or lights on them, or whatever. Let's see. Question from Tika. Can we use Lua to program custom NPCs for mini roleplay events? An example of this would or could be, we give quest givers or such. Can we use Lua to transform into animals or monsters? So getting Lua into the questing system that we expose to you guys is something we want to do to let you have them be more intelligent. We're going to try to give you the tools you need that are testable, debuggable. That's, if you guys know our quest system. Again, there's a lot of amazing raw quality content in the quest system, but the quest system itself is extremely fragile. The thing we're trying to make sure our quest system for episode 2 is that it's 100% testable, reliable, fixable. We don't want to have anything get in there where you can basically get into broken states. For those who have heard me talk about before, part of the reason our existing quest system is so fragile is because a lot of the data, one, it's set up through just a lot of random flags, which is really hard to figure out the logic behind. And then 2, a lot of those flags only live on the client during some step. So there's ways where if you quit the game at the wrong time, or your client crashes at the wrong time, and you're mid-process on something, you can get your data into a bad state where a quest sequence will end. And this is bad for a lot of reasons. One is obviously we don't want to have too much quest stuff going on the client. No, there's not ways that you can exploit it in terms of giving yourself 1 million rewards, because we do track rewards and make sure you only get one of a reward for all that stuff, and that is done on the server. But some of the actual state data during the quest time is done on the client. That's one of those things we need to not have happen, and that stuff needs to live on the server for our quest side, our side of quest things. But we will be giving you guys some tools that hopefully you can make the same quality quest type stuff that we're going to be able to make. For us, though, we will be able to embed Lua in things, and we do plan on doing that for some of our NPCs, and that may be a large part of our server side quest stuff. Because Lua is not just portable to Unity, it's portable to anything. We can, again, this is the library I'm using is actually a C# library that'll run on anything that runs C# or Mono. What Lua stuff we can give you, exposed to you guys in your script, your NPCs, is still unknown. Again, we're trying to make sure you can't do anything to sin to cause problems with the server or screw with other players in a negative way. It may help you figure out some of the logic, though, in terms of you want to do some complex quest thing that you can't figure out how to do through the existing system we have, that we may let you do that with Lua. Let's see. Some of the other reasons we could let you give you guys Lua on the NPCs is to do some querying stuff. The big thing with worrying about the Lua stuff is if we give you the Lua implementation like we've given you guys for writing your own scripts for your UI and stuff, that can do some nasty stuff. As in, you could have it go and delete a file or write out 100 gigs of crap to their hard drive. There's some ways that you could do damage to people. Now imagine you're going to embed that level of Lua stuff into an NPC that some random noob might walk up to and talk to, and now it writes out 100 gigs of data to his hard drive and fills up his hard drive until he crashes. So there's obviously dangers with just letting you embed raw Lua in there. But it is something we do want to do, but it'll probably be a subset that I'll just have to flag, add a flag to which things you guys can and cannot do. Can we use Lua to transform into animals or monsters? I'm assuming that's in reference to the quest, but Lua will currently not allow you to transform into animals or monsters. The big thing with not letting you look like animals or monsters has always just been the animations and the buggy nature of how it would feel. We have not even tried, just because every time we've thought about doing it, even though it's a cool idea to have you transform into another monster, it's just a big can of worms that we didn't want to open. I'd love to have it, though, at some point. I mean, there's been a lot of games. I've mentioned I'm a EverQuest fan as well, which, again, super sad at the passing of Brad McQuaid. But that was one of the things in EverQuest was that for a while they did a you can or transform into a creature and play as a creature play mode. Why am I so stupid? Open the sack and leave it alone. All right, let me get through these. I got about 10 more minutes here, and actually, I'm going to do the turkey. I said give away 10 turkeys at 2:45. I'm going to wait until the end, and I'll give away 2 sets of 10 turkeys to celebrate Thanksgiving coming up. Gobble, gobble, gobble. All right, I'm going to try to race through these. As always, I've done my thing where I talk entirely too long in each and every one of them without actually getting through all of them, so... let's see. Would it be, this is from Shimizu again. Would it be possible with Lua to make a mini map? Absolutely. That's one of those things that we're going to try to give you guys a way to improve. Our map it got to the new map system. The old map system had a ton of problems and was believed to be part of the stability problem with our client. It is not. I know, shocking. But that's what, when we'd sent crash logs to Unity, they immediately pointed to that DLL as, oh, this is causing all your stability problems. That was just the only native DLL, the non-protected stuff we had, or the open stuff. I can't think right now. But anyways, yes, I would love to be able to give you guys enough functionality that you could reproduce the mini-map stuff. Because, again, Bobby's in a holding pattern on a few different things, and not sure when he's going to get to that. I'm not sure when I'm going to have time to get back to the map stuff. And it is a lot of work to give you guys interfaces and ways to input information into it. I know that's one of those things you want to use. So right now we have a map system that works sometimes, but has more features to it and is really slow. And then we have our internal map, which does not have all the maps in it and doesn't have a lot of those features, but is fast and stable. So... yeah, kind of need the best of both of them, but I'm not sure when that is going to happen. So it'd be great if that's one that we could hand over to you guys somehow. Let's see. Possible to add waypoints, points of interest to a map. That is absolutely one of the things I'm going to have probably by the end of the year, is I will give you a function where you can set a compass marker. So this will give you a way that if you wanted to, like you could have somebody could write something that, I mean, this is not that far-fetched. I could probably do this in a couple hours. Is you can see what zone you're in. And then from that, you can load a local file or write out a local file to that name. And then you can have in that points of interest on it. And then have it call the mini-map to add to your... I'm pointing at my screen that you can't see. I'm pointing at my bar. I guess I should not point. I should use my mouse. But you can imagine you can go and add to an XYZ position, add a tracker so you can see what direction things are in. So absolutely that can happen. I mean, that's something you guys could also do as soon as that's in. Then you can do things like put your party members or put guild mates on there if your guild mates are sharing their information. There's a lot of stuff that you could do with it. But yes, you could also have somebody could maintain here's the website where we maintain all the points of interest, and they could just fill up that sucker. Let's see, what's next? Either client-side personal ones, Scoffer's House, or shared ones, like Player Minds Copper. Yes, that is absolutely, and I expect you guys to do some of that yourself. To maintain that data and have websites for tracking that data. Let's see. Following on this, would it be possible for an Inkle Quest NPC to put a gold star on the map indicating a destination where the player that is absolutely something that will happen. Again, we've got to control what the quest guys can do. So it will either do that through Lua that we expose the limited Lua to you, or it will give you a way that you can do that through your Inkle. P.S. Thank you for cat spawners. You're most welcome, Shimizu. Lua and Inkley. Everybody wants to talk about that. Scoffer Kata. With Inky coming for potential quest dialogue, will Lua be able to extract data from options? So yeah, Lua, that's one of the other things I'm going to be exposing in the short term. And again, I'm talking about a lot of things I'm going to be exposing, but a lot of these are really just a couple hours work. It's just, there's only 24 hours in a day, and I'm working as many of them as I can to try and get some of these things in there. But I've got lots of stuff I have to do. But one of the things I'm going to be exposing that will come soon, again, hopefully before the end of the year, will be giving you guys access to anything on this menu. So you can have it modify these things. You can see what they are and have it set up. Because I would love to be able to do, again, have one button where you can put a button on the screen that calls a function for you. And the function, one of them is the combat mode or whatever, where you've got it where it goes and sets all the stuff that you want for combat mode versus, just role-playing mode, where you want to have things pretty and you want to have music up and you want to have the other stuff. Whereas in combat mode, you turn all the music off, you turn off everything but the sound effects, and you turn that to modest. Turn off footsteps, all these other things, minimize your graphics, turn down the LOD distance and things like that just to maximize. But yeah, I want to give you guys access to all of that stuff. Get up there. And that will be happening soon. Let's see. Essentially thinking a town crier that would have a poll of the week and a website to collect the answers. How many people choose option A? How many people think Scoffer is great? Etc. etc. 0. This is one of those things when I give you the Lua, you guys have the Lua, you can actually call to stuff, you can call the websites, and people, if they want to set up a website where they pull information to or send information to a website, they can do that. We're just not letting you pull or send information to our servers. So I've mentioned it before that I totally expect in the future that there'll be guilds. You guys are tech savvy enough. There'll be guilds where they, everybody in the guild must run, use this Lua file that's the guild Lua file, that tracks stuff like anytime you go to a vendor and you open up a vendor, the server sends you that information, and your Lua file locally sends that information to their server. So they're going around tracking all the different vendor informations. Anytime somebody's crafting stuff, make sure you run this, because it's going to log the item that you just crafted and created and put it in our item database for people. So there's totally ways that they can do that, including polls and those type things. And that would be fabulous if you want to have those type things. I think people have seen what Apple Rust has done with his Soda Assist, and it's basically going to give you some of that type stuff. I'm sure he's going to be expanding that, I think, to use some of the Lua stuff as well, and do some things that he couldn't do before, and probably have some hook-ins to the use Lua stuff to talk to Soda Assist to pull more information out of the client for his Soda Assist stuff. But you can see there's lots of different things you can do if you're tech savvy enough. Let's see, next question here. Could Lua be used to refine the pet and summon system? Pet bar, better pet responses, having multiple pet summons priorities. So having the multiple pet summons, no. Most of the other things, you probably will be able to access those. You're definitely going to be able to get the basic stuff of QSnugs, seeing your pet information, getting all the information on your pet, and pet health and that type stuff, so you can write some plugins for your pets. The telling your pet to do stuff is something that'll happen, but that definitely won't be until phase 2, because that is a talk to the server type thing. Now, for most people's pets, most of the pet logic runs local on the client and then just gets sent to the server, and the server checks to make sure like your pet isn't teleporting unless we want it to teleport or whatever, and it isn't doing stupid stuff and its math falls in line, whatever. But most of the AI logic actually runs on the person who owns the pet rather than on the server. So, yes to some of it, but again, some things will be sending to the server rather than local stuff. But we'll see. There may be ways to get that worked in there. Oh, and I didn't notice who that was. This is by Who is the Tank. what can be done in Lua, for example? Can you fix the pathing issues or like boundary lines? No. Can Lua exploit the game code? Mostly no. I mean, it can be. You could consider it an exploit. It's not going to be. You can't use it to write bots and stuff like that. As I mentioned, it is going to be read. Everything it does is read only. And again, none of it's being sent to the server, so the server doesn't care what you do locally on that crap. The part that can be an exploit is, yeah, if you have more information, then some people can consider that an exploit, that they've got a small advantage, that they can see. They can see more information and see what damage they're gonna, exactly what their chances to crit are when they're fighting things. Let's see. Give a good example of Lua and what this is affecting in game. Well, I've given a bunch of them here so far. Again, I probably read these out of order. This would have been a good one to do early. But it is, all the stuff I just mentioned. Things like you can have it, somebody can write code so when you go to a vendor and it pulls down the vendor code, I'm going to be sending you a list of here's all the vendor items you just got. And they can write that to their local hard drive or send that to their own little data server or their website. You can track your skills and stats and things like that. So you can write something that, when you start a game session, it logs, here's what you were at the start of the day, and here's the time that you write it out. Oh, and thank you very much, Andartiana. Thank you. Oh, and Scooby-Doo and Snugsy1 and Shade Bedlam. But you guys could write out, like, at the start of my play session, here's what my stats were. And then at the end of the, or just have a /Lua command that you do, or a button that I'm going to give you to hook up on screen. That when you click it, it'll show you what stats you've gained in this play session. So you can say, oh, look, my sword went up 3 points, and my firebolt went up 2 points. So it's giving you a lot of that type of information. The one I actually hooked up, and I forgot I disconnected it because it was pretty darn spammy, more than I expected. That the code is there, but I just disabled the one place where it gets called. And I'm going to put that back in and do some more tests and see if it's actually CPU intensive or if it is not as bad as I think it could be, which is on experience change. I hooked that up, which is anytime your experience pool or your global experience changes, it sends Lua a message that you can register for. I put that in there thinking like, oh, well, that'll be great because you'll kill something and you'll see, you'll see the experience change. Except the thing is, every time you swing your sword, like 20 different skills get experience applied to them or removed from them if you're untraining. So it gets pretty spammy as you're out there like swinging your sword, twice a second, using skills twice a second, and you're getting like 30 or 40 of these messages a second that you could track. But you could track all that if you want to. I'm going to see, that may be one I expose but don't leave open because, again, it can get spammy and it's a little work on the client side even if you don't have it on. So I want to make sure it's not negatively impacting people who don't want to use it.
Hey, Riz, just to be aware, look at the clock.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll go a little late here.
Okay, it's all up to you.
Okay. There's a million different examples. The easiest stuff is, things people have already been doing, which is making it so you can like flash text up on your screen all over, when your health gets lower, when your focus is getting low, or your party member. Now that those APIs are live, they're live on QA and they're going live on live later this evening, assuming the build doesn't puke. But yeah, having access to your party members, seeing that type of stuff. You can do silly stuff too, like tracking how far you've walked in a day. Oh, and thank you very much, somebody, for the follow. House of Mengar, of course. It doesn't show the name, so it's got to be House of Mengar. And also thank you, Zazada, for something. Here's their phone number. You can call them for a good time. You can also do stuff like track how much total damage people in your party took or how much damage you healed in a play session. I mean, there's a lot of that silly type but fun stuff you can do. And as I mentioned before, now you can integrate that with your guild. So your guild could track like the top healers in the guild or, top hours played or top creatures killed. You guys can track that all yourself. Tons of that stuff. Again, some of it is just you guys can build your own interfaces as the longer term goal. In the short term, you'll be able to just create your own interfaces, but it'll be more for display rather than for other stuff. There's other things I would love to use it for, which is, like, for instance, our mail is one of our interfaces that I hate a lot, but it's probably because I send more mail than probably anybody else in the game. But it's pretty clunky, and I would love to have some better ways to do things in our mail system. So I'm going to be trying to give you guys some access to that. Let's see. And then the last one here is, but there's a million different examples, and I mean, that's what I came up with just from talking to you guys a few times. You guys will come up with way more useful stuff. Not a Lua question, but I would love to know if we can get more races in game. Many examples of races, but I'd love to have dwarf, merfolk, werewolf, vampire, just to name a few. So vampire is easy. We like vampires because they look just like humans. The challenge with this is it's a pretty big art task. Get armor sets and get all the armor stuff working on the different body types. We do have plans for additional races. That's one of those that was a thing that Richard was the one who was kind of against it early on. It's probably for the best that it didn't happen early on because it's a lot of work to get stuff in there. But we do have, the way all the armor and stuff is set up is it's set up to where it's boned. So we can't adjust like the existing armor stuff to fit on different body types. It's just going to be a fair amount of work. We were shooting for a second race by end of 2020 is what Star had been saying, but as soon as we have one race we can get, the other ones will come quicker. But I would love to we'd want to do a second race for episode 2, but it's one of those things I'm trying to commit to the things I know will make the biggest bang for the buck. I think races are important, but I think there's a lot of other stuff where we're truly lacking, where we need to fix things like our quest system and, doing some of the dungeon stuff, doing the Lua stuff, getting performance up in pots and in combat, on super heavily decorated pots in combat. Then let's talk about those things. All right, let's see. I got 3 more here, and then I'll call it a day and give away 20 turkeys. I thought they could fly. Les Nessman? That's not what he said. I forget the exact way he said it.
Absolutely think that is the freaking funniest Thanksgiving we started the turkeys.
Yeah. That's WKRP for those out there who are not 45 plus or whatever. Yes, as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. That's the quote. Let's see. Not sure if you've noticed yet, we need to have scripts unloaded if a player is logged off. At the moment, if you have a window open and it's over the login details, you have to reload the game in order to log. Someone mentioned that already. That's on my short list. I'll try to get that in for tomorrow morning. Yes, that was by Griffler. And yes, I did have some checks in there just because I'm checking to make sure on exceptions, but I did that at the start, so I make sure there's a valid character object. But we keep that character object around if you go back to the menu but don't fully log out or don't switch to another character. So my test of is there a valid character there is not a good test. I need to be doing is level loaded, and is that level loaded not the one we don't want people in. Lua SQL by Griffler. And yeah, you'll find that there's about probably 20 guys that are just absolutely over the moon nuts with the Lua stuff and super excited about it and can't wait. And then the other 80% of the people are like, what's Lua? So totally get it. When do you plan on implementing external database connections? Lua SQL is an existing interface for a plethora of databases. This opens up a world of possibilities. Yeah, and again, there's some things you guys could do already that I think you should be able to manage. But I'll keep an eye on it. I want to go do some more testing on things. But yeah, like Lua SQL, having local stuff would be nice for you guys managing stuff. But I got a lot of stuff I want to expose to you just because I know there's more. And I see Elron saying we don't need to know Lua, we have Devil Cult. Yeah, He's one of the guys who's pretty fanatical. He counts as about 10 people, I think. Let's see. Lua SQL. Yeah, we will eventually I'll get some more data hookups for you guys so you can do some things. But again, there's a lot of stuff you could do locally. It's just not as clean probably as the Lua SQL, which is actually like an SQL interface, I think. Let's see. With love from Drizzt. I hate training skills. Is this Lua library thing going to let me create macros to train skills? No. I am working on, again, I've been saying this for a while, but we're really trying to get it to that point where we do some of the things. Again, you saw you got some more reagents from growing stuff, but I'm trying to get stuff like the things if you guys are botting, like water collection, like, again, we just make it so we give you 10 or something every time you do it. Just find something. Or make it repeatable so you can, like, when you do a harvest water, it basically goes until you stop it, and it harvests water like one every second. All right, so that's probably where I should stop there. Again, for the guys who are in chat, hopefully people here asked the questions you wanted to hear. And 20 excited about Lua and the other 80% not. 100 people? Well, yeah, 20%. But the other 80%, even though they're not excited about Lua, they will be once they see some of the cool stuff these guys are doing with it. And that's, again, it's a way for the community to build up some libraries, build up some cool stuff to honestly compensate, to some extent compensate for the places where we've been lacking. And again, one of those is in our UI. But some of the other stuff is just some like fun, easy functionality that we're giving you guys, that we're opening up to you guys to do. But again, guys, thank you so much for having me to your guild meeting today. And also for letting me share it with the live stream so that they could actually hear some of this stuff too. Because if you are a guild out there, and again, I haven't turned down a guild invitation, I don't think, but I don't get asked hardly at all. Same thing with the streams. Other than Zol, I think there's, and Wolfdom. I'm trying to think. Somebody else wanted to have me on their stream recently. I'm trying to remember who it was, but they wanted to have me on their stream to talk about stuff not related to PvP. I know. But guys, let me also do the whole like business thing and remind you guys that we have the 20% sale going on. Again, I'm going to try to work in some flash sale stuff coming up soon. And it may not happen until Black Friday, but we'll get it done sometime soon. Where it changes out the sales that are on sale every like 2 hours rather than once a day. And also may give like a little extra percent, like 25 or 30% instead of 20% off. So you can look forward to that over some of the holiday season. And also I'm going to try to figure out how we can do an in-game deed upgrade sale, where basically we just decrease the cost of those things. But I'm going to look into that one a bit more to see how complicated that'll be. So if you're thinking about it, the time may be coming to upgrade or move from your row to a village or keep to a castle or whatever you want. But I think that's probably it. Yeah, get in the raffle if you guys want to.
Raffle.
Yep, I'm not going to forget the raffle. Giving away 20 turkeys. You guys about ready there? I'm sure everybody in the room there is in the raffle, right?
I'm sure.
All you guild guys? Okay, here we go. Raffle, 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 raffle. And again, guys, thanks so much for all the follows. That's one of the reasons I like streaming on the weekends, even though I hate doing it because that is time that I normally spend with Maxine. Love seeing getting a bunch of extra follows from you guys. And also, if you are actually interested in the Lua stuff, you can go watch the Friday stream or the Wednesday stream. Actually was showing some Lua code and demonstrating some simple stuff that you could do with it. And they were mentioning Devil Cult, but I think Devil Cult wrote a quick Worms program that I then took his Worms program and expanded on a little bit live on stream. It's like the programmer battle thing where you take somebody else's code live. Just saw that your code, but let me fix your bugs. Rap battle, except with code. All right.
While you're doing that, I just wanted to let you know how much we appreciate you coming again.
Yep.
It's always a pleasure. I know we kind of limited the topic this time, and I'm sure we'll have you back again. We'll have other topics, but I think this was an important one because a lot of people did not see the streams before. They kept asking.
Well, they're out there. We always archive them, but I totally understand the people not wanting to go and watch an hour and a half or 2 hour long or 2.5 hour long stream. Just pick up a few little tidbits in here. And that's why, again, I was just doing for 6 months or whatever, I was doing nothing but streams. And I'd be like, well, didn't you see my stream? And of course, people would just get, frustrated with me. But that is why, for those who don't know out there, all the people who are in chat, make sure you follow me on Twitter. That is where I'm doing my moment-to-moment updates. That is also basically a bullet point of what Chris is doing at any given time, and that is at Catnip Games is where you want to go on Twitter, at Catnip Games.
User disconnected from your channel.
Somebody disconnected from my channel.
That happens. People have to come and go.
But anyways, follow me on Twitter. I'm giving multiple updates a day and little brain dumps here and there, alerting you of when QA is going live and that type of stuff. So watch that, and you can see the crazy hours that I can keep in terms of trying to fit my life around work, and also an amazing 5-year-old that is a million times more important to me than anything else. But here we go. You guys ready? Picking the winners. Winner number 1 is... Hey, Draken Naruto. You are going to get 10 turkeys. Is he here? I don't think he's here. And then winner number 2 is... Skeggy. Pretty sure Skeggy's not here. All right, I'm not seeing either of those guys, but you guys, each of those 2 guys win 10 turkeys. I'm going to come find you. And again, guys, thanks so much. Thanks for joining me on a Sunday. I will be this next week. Maxine has off the entire week, so I will be a little distracted, and I will probably be a little less productive than I was last week, but I still plan on getting at least 8 hours done a day and another 2 or 3 functions a day, hopefully, hooked up. Going to try to hit it in chunks and hit systems at a time, so you can look forward to that coming up. And I think that's probably it, guys. Thanks.
There you go.
And I'm going to get off and go distribute some prizes to people.
Hey, and Chris, we're going to be putting the Christmas presents down, empty boxes.
Thank you, Eve14 Fest. Thank you for the follow. And yes, if you're watching but not following, all you got to do to get in the prize stuff is follow. You don't have to subscribe or anything silly like that. Though I do appreciate it. But guys, thank you so much. And let me hand... Oh, I guess I didn't keep my notes separate. I've got all the notes. I'm going to keep them.
It's okay. Just dump them in the answered questions. We'll go through and figure it all out.
All right. I'll see if I can figure out which ones I actually got from you guys. Nope.
You could close off.
I took them out of the sack as I did them, so.
Minutes for some follow-up stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you guys and kick you guys out of here, and then I'm gonna go deliver some prizes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end my stream here, and let me go raid somebody, and then I'll just do my GM thing and disappear.
Thanks again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Whoop, there's my echo. Let's see. For having me. Whoop, here's my echo. Let's see. Muting. There we go. I've muted him. Oh, no, that's me. There we go. Pro streamer. This is my post stream. The official stream has ended. I'm just trying to figure out who to raid here. We got Fizzle and Skeggy, Book in there, Strider Green, and we got a Crawl. I can get off your thing. I'm gonna get off your team speak. Hold on. I did stop you guys. You're no longer going out to the world. Okay, I'll take care of that now. All right. Bye. All right, now we're gonna raid. So we got Book in there. We got Skeggy. I like raiding you guys. But Fizzle and Skeggy and Strider Green all do great things for us, so I'm just going to do my usual thing, do a random roll. Here we go. Roll 5. Not visible in that one. Not visible in that one. Where is it? That show up on the emote list? What does that show up on? A 1. A 1 is House of Mangar. Alright, so we're going to go give House of Mangar a raid. I hate raiding him just because he has a long name. But we'll give him a raid anyways. Yeah, cut and paste. Here we go, guys. Again, if you just saw the stream for the first time, I'm a dev on Shroud of the Avatar. I'm one of the guys that keeps things moving along here, and today we're mostly talking about Lua and some of the other stuff. But I do streams a couple times a week. Follow me if you want to learn more about the game. I'm always on here. Normally I just talk to the people in the stream and answer their questions, but today was a little bit different because I had a guild invite me, so I wanted to talk to the guild and let them give me questions. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And let's go raid the House of Mangar, also known as Zol, not to be confused with Fizzle, because the F is silent. But if you want to learn how to play the game, he's probably the best or among the best guys out there to teach you. So you can go listen to him. He's also one of the guys I go and talk to on his stream occasionally because he has great constructive feedback too. So go watch him. Probably already subbed, but if not, or following him. If not, give him a follow. So you guys have a great weekend and a great holiday week.